Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Winback, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play one of my top 3 characters in the game. His name is Alarak, and you can already tell that we have a connection because our names kind of rhyme. You get what? Yes. Anyway, team comps today are going to be Alarak, Ragnaros, Anna, Asmo, May versus Anduin, Raynor, Anduin, Raynor, Muradin, Varian, and Orphea. Now, obviously I could go into pages upon pages upon pages of description for all the talents, for all the abilities, for everything going on with Alarak. So I'm going to try to boil it down to the bare minimum that I think you need to know to play this character and play him efficiently. This is, I believe, a diamond game? I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive this was drafted, but it is a little bit older, I think. Anyway. Our abilities, number 1, our Q is going to be Discord Strike. This is a 0.5 second delay. A triangular skill shot, you just saw it right there. It is going to silence people for 1.5 seconds after they're hit with it. It's our biggest form of burst damage. It is going to be the focal point of the build when you're trying to play the hero damage hunter-killer that Alarak is. This doesn't update. This doesn't update when the replay starts over. Okay. This is actually only at 100%. 190% is what we're going to make it to at the end of the video. So just... I'm pretty sure it'll reset once I die, but... yeah, this isn't the correct number. Our W is our main playmaking ability. It's called Telekinesis. We are going to deal a small amount of damage, but the biggest part of the ability is that it's going to move people and is going to move us. So you can move both an enemy and yourself at the same time, or you can just yoink an enemy or push an enemy like you can see there, especially with May. Pushing him into that free zone is super useful, but it's also the easiest way to set up your combo, which is basically W, pull them in, Q, immediately after you've hit W, and they're going to get silenced, take a bunch of damage, and then you could just shoot them with your E for a little bit of extra burst damage and healing. Pretty good. Your E is going to be Lightning Surge, and this is ultimately a point-and-click damage ability, which isn't anything remarkable on its own when you just click someone, but the damage between Alarak and the target that he is point-and-clicking on is going to be amplified by 100%. So you're going to deal double damage for characters in between you and your target. And if it's a hero, they are going to be taking 100% more damage on top of that. So double the damage of lightning and then double it again. I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how math works in this case. Because your trait is going to give you double damage on all of your abilities. Period. So all the damage that you do with your Q and your E and your W is amplified by this number down here, 103% currently. So we're dealing double damage plus 3%, plus 5%, whatever the number is right now. And that's the whole reason that Alarak is the hyper carry that he is the player killer that he is. He is the best #1 melee assassin, I think, at killing characters and making that late game go really bad for the enemy team if he is not shut down. Meatball kills. What? It's 2020. How are you dying to that? I'm just kidding. I died to that too because I... Alright. Scary. Need to... okay, I got rooted. I pushed him away the second that I got rooted by the Anduins. So now I'm going to die trying to help someone. I probably should have just let die. It's okay. It's alright. Whatever. Anyway. That's weird. I can't open the talents. I legitimately have to hit the control button to open this up. Okay. Anyway, we're going to talk about the build now because I've wasted a whole bunch of time as it is. Overwhelming Power is my preference for this character. I know you're going to hear a lot of people arguing, oh, Alarak shouldn't be in melee range. He's a mage. You want to be playing him in safe positions. And I think that's just stupid. Especially when you're playing with a character like May, or you have like these really high health pool bruisers and damage dealers on your team, Alarak can 100% step up and make his auto attacks do damage. So they're, as of right now, I think they're doing about 200 damage, which is fucking nuts to begin with. But what Overwhelming Power is going to do is every time that we hit a Q, we are going to get 40% attack speed, and we are going to heal for 50% of the damage that our auto attacks do. So, when we hit people, half of that damage is going to convert to health, meaning that we can just fucking man fight 90% of the cast. Oh my god, did I just... Are you up here trying to do a camp all by yourself? Well, all four of us are down there in the bottom lane? You cheeky bitch. But I know a lot of people don't like the talent because they like to play their position a lot more safe and kind of bitchy, if I'm being honest with this character, which I am not into. I am not into whatsoever. I think Ruthless Momentum, however, is still a very strong talent. It definitely gives you the ability to line up some really big plays to make a lot of peels and, you know, aggressive stuff happen for your team as well. Oh my god, this guy's getting lit up by that Orphea. Try to push him into the stun. We got them both stunned. Now Ragnaros is looking pretty toasty. Made it out. Everything's fine. Overwhelming Power is my preference. Again, Ruthless Momentum is going to build more into that kind of backline burst mage Alarak that a lot of people have come to know and understand him for. I don't like playing him that way. I've never liked playing him that way, but here we are. My playstyle is also a bit riskier than most people. I'm sure you can make whatever determination you want to about my personality from that. Oh no! Ana goes down. I'm trying to auto-attack my way to safety. We did get back to the gate, so Orphea is not going to be able to kill us. Leading into our level 4 talent, though, Show of Force is going to give us 2% sadism every time that we hit someone with 3 abilities in succession. So right there, we got the pull on 2 people, we got the Q on 2 people, and then we got the lightning on 2 people. So we got 4% sadism on top of all that stuff, and it was fucking good. And then that is going to stack up 20%. So the 30% cap that we are getting from our trait for takedowns, we get 3% per takedown, and couple that with our Show of Force, which is 20% capped at 2% per combo on a... Oh, here's the snowball. There's the snowball. Boy. You're on the wrong side of the gate. Anyway, couple your trait with your combo, or your Show of Force, you now have a cap of 50% additional sadism on your ability damage. So where you were earlier just doing 100% extra damage, now you're doing 150% extra damage if you get both of those, both your trait and that talent capped out. Fucking nuts. Later on in the game, that's going to go even higher. It's going to be dealing even more damage, and I will show you just how much I love about this character because of it. Fuck off, Orphea. Okay. Now she has come into our team, going to get lightninged to death because there's 4 people there, and you gotta pay attention to how often I can kill you. At level 7, we are going to pick up Hindered Motion. This is my favorite talent at this tier since it's been buffed. It used to only be a 20% slow, and now it is a 30% slow. Not only is this going to couple with talent towards the later stages of the game, but having the ability to slow people and get into melee range with our attack speed at level 1 is going to be absolutely enormously helpful when we want to get either healing or just auto attacks in on people. It's really, really fantastic stuff. And if you pull someone and pull yourself at the same time, like both of you are now pulling that enemy out of position, slowing them, and putting them so far into your face that you could just eat them and no one would know. He's gonna really just parry all my shit, huh? That's my full combo. I need to get out. My mana stores are running pretty low. May looks like she's ready to keep it going, but I don't feel super confident in that. Our level 10 talent, you've already seen it. It's Counter-Strike. This ability is twofold. 50% of the time you're going to be using it defensively to block specific abilities, like a Pyroblast per se, or maybe some other big telegraphed damage ability that's going to make you die. You're going to want to block that. But probably more often than that, you're going to be using this ability to just disintegrate someone. And when I say that, this ability is going to be dealing 458 damage at level 13. Ooh, good interrupt. So 458 damage is just flat. That's not doubling it with your sadism normally, or in this case, 147% extra damage. So that is at least 1,000 damage from your ultimate ability, which is on a 30-second cooldown, mind you. I mean, we already had this conversation about how fucking amazing that is. Ovarian. Just because it looks like I only have 200 health doesn't mean I actually only have 200 health. I did not wait for my telekinesis to come up there. I could have killed Orphea if I'd just given it a second. Bummer. He's going to get rooted. Anduin's going to die to the explosion because we popped him with that Discord strike right at the end. Couldn't get in range to get the lightning off on the Muradin. Pretty sad. Anyway, level 13, we're going to be picking up Blade of the High Lord. Now, this talent is the most unappreciated, underutilized, underpicked talent of the tier. Everybody either wants Pure Malice for the easy 10% on your buddies dying, or Rite of Rakshir for the infinite cap, and, you know, making people know who's the boss. I mean, both of those talents are fine. If you got a hyper-feeding team, Pure Malice is going to get you that 40% quicker. Rite of Rakshir is going to infinitely scale, but it's infinitely more difficult than the other two to land. But both of those talents, I think, are wildly inconsistent compared to Blade of the High Lord. Now, in the late game, Rite of Rakshir is going to be more difficult to land to get kills because people are going to be grouped up more. If you're not picking someone or dueling someone or just, like, you know, blowing someone apart with your team, it's difficult to get going. Same thing with Pure Malice. Since the teams are going to be grouped up, since everything is going to be happening in these big team fights, if you... Let's say you lose a team fight. Let's say you're the last one to die in a team fight. Now, you have lost all that sadism. Your 4 teammates are dead, so you can't get anything easy back. And you're going to have to wait until the next team fight to even hope to get that 10, or at least 10% back. Unless your team's just dying to picks, in which case your next team fight's going to be even farther away, and you're just not going to be getting any consistency out of the ability. The fuck is it called? Pure Malice. So I'm just gonna let you watch me style on this fucking Muradin. Do you see how little damage I took from him? You see how many abilities he had to pop just to live? I know he didn't die. He survived with next to no health, but this Orphea looks like a pretty decent consolation prize, let's be honest. But yeah, so these two talents, they're fine. Everything about them and Alarak's kit is fine. Especially if you're playing with randoms. I mean, Pure Malice is going to do dividends because you know they're going to die. But typically when I'm playing with teams, I don't like to count on them being bad for me to get more value out of what I'm doing. And if they're playing really good, I'm missing out on potentially 40% sadism because my team's too good. And I don't know about you, but I like to be the one to do all the damage and do all the stuff, and that 40% means a lot to me, you know? So Blade of the High Lord is going to give you 2% per auto attack up to 40%. You're going to lose these on death too, but the amount of auto attacking that you're doing, especially once you have Overwhelming Power at level 1 procced with your Q, you're going to get at least 3 to 4 auto attacks out of just one exchange with another character after landing your combo. So right there, you've got, what is that, 6 to 8% just flat out sadism right there, just from punching someone. And you don't have to hit your Q on people, it's just purely auto attacking anybody. Now, if you die, you're back. All you got to do is auto attack heroes. It's going to happen in a team fight. It's going to happen in skirmishes. It's going to happen in pick situations. Anytime that you hit someone, you're going to auto attack them, and it's going to hurt. But I can't sing the praises of this talent enough. It's been buffed to this current position, and I think it's the best at the tier. Oh my god. That poor Orphea. This is the end of the game. The last talent is Lethal Onslaught. Because we're playing such a melee-heavy Alarak, Lethal Onslaught is going to take a percentage of our sadism, throw it onto our auto attacks, and we are going to nuke even harder with our auto attacks because of the damage that they're doing on top of the attack speed that we have from our level 1 talent. We're going to get shitloads of healing back. You saw it up there with Muradin. Oh my god, everybody, I'm the only one who exists on the board. Fucking replay system is such junk. But anyway, the talent itself, it's absolutely fucking insane. It's going to give us 50% of the sadism damage bonus to our basic attacks. So I think we were sitting at 190% at the end of the game. So we're getting, what is that? It's like 95%. So 95%, our auto attacks are almost double the damage. And their attack speed is up by 40%. Fucking insane. And they're also healing for 50% of that damage. Now, I don't know if you're good at math. I'm not. But when I just stand there, face tank a Muradin with these talents, and he loses, it feels pretty good. Feels pretty fucking insane. And you can see down there with Orphea as well. I think it was just pull, it was combo. I got all 3 of the abilities, and then maybe 2 auto attacks, and she was dead. Just slapped out of existence. I mean, be honest with yourself and tell me that isn't the best feeling talent on the tier. Lightning Barrage is cool. Mocking Strikes is great too. I mean, especially if you have a tank that's going to slow or root or stun to get those ability cooldowns back. But I think you're going to take Mocking Strikes when you are specifically taking Overwhelming Power, just to have those cooldowns coming back faster, to play the character more in an ability focused manner instead of running at the enemy team with your dick out full melee like I like to play him. But I know I can talk for hours upon hours about this character. This is the build that I love to play the most with him, and I think for me personally it's the most effective. I can play the other ones, I just don't have as much fun. But pick it up, let me know what you think. I have plenty of time to answer questions on this character because he's one of the few that just really lights my fire, you know what I'm saying? Or feel free to just toss a like or subscribe on the video. I would always appreciate that as well. And we will be back next week with some more deep dives into some of these characters, try to teach you how to play them, figure out what makes a lot of them tick, and maybe dig into some macro stuff as well. We'll see. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.